Hello and welcome back everyone, I am the Otaku, and today I'm going to teach you how to not suck at Darth Vader.
You will know the power of the dark side.
First I will cover the essential information that you need to know, then stick around because after that I'm giving away the best strategies and techniques that are going to help you along your path to the dark side. Just a quick note before we get started, you might have noticed my voice sounds a little bit different, and that's because I was able to upgrade my microphone to something a little bit better. So thank you to the people who have donated to the channel. Not only am I not eating from the garbage yet, but I can also provide higher quality videos for everyone. So to start things off, Darth Vader walks like a badass, and when you sprint he will walk faster and slightly more badass. Perhaps not the most important thing to note, but it does add an essence of intimidation and psychological warfare that you just don't get from any other hero. Vader cannot crouch and he does not jump using the regular mechanics and animations. Instead, he will use the Force to push himself off the ground in an upwards and forwards trajectory, which is the same mechanics as Emperor Palpatine. The Force leap is also unique because the longer you hold the jump button, the higher and further you can go to a certain extent. Also, if used when jumping from a higher altitude or off of an object, the effects can be quite crazy as you can scale very long distances before landing. However, this jump is difficult to use for very precise and coordinated actions like climbing the side of a hill and will take some time to master. One trick is to only hold the jump button for a shorter period of time, which will result in a shorter Force push off the ground. Lord Vader has 3 special abilities, the first one being the most iconic, which is his Force choke. He will lift an opponent off the ground, strangling them with the power of the Force. This ability is definitely my favorite in the game, as there's nothing more satisfying than watching a rebel scum struggle and flail about as their life is squeezed from their body. The distance on this attack is about 20 meters, and although it isn't really a projectile, it does require you to be facing towards the opponent for it to successfully work. This ability is a one-shot kill on infantry, including honor guards, and will do roughly 10 to 15 damage to heroes while slightly staggering them. Keep in mind that this attack does take time to complete, during which you are completely vulnerable and unable to use other abilities. You are just standing there with your hand in the air choking the life out of them. Other players can also still attack the enemy that is being force choked and steal your kill. If you see somebody doing this, then feel free to report them to me, and I will make sure they find their way to the Sarlacc pit. Next is Vader's Sabre Throw. This one is pretty much what it sounds like. Vader will throw his lightsaber forward, dealing damage to anything in its path. This ability is also a one-shot kill on regular infantry, and does decent damage to honor guards and other heroes, while also stunning them. Sabre Throw is Vader's most important and tactical ability in my opinion, as it's its only really ranged ability and also very important for dueling other heroes. So do make sure to save this for when you actually need it. You also need to be careful when using it, as the lightsaber does seem to be throwing more from the hip of the character and is often stopped by objects in the way when you are clearly aiming over top of them. The best method to counter this is by Force leaping upwards for a slight second and then throwing it mid-air. The last ability is Vader's all-powerful heavy attack, where he will lunge forward, sweeping his saber around and doing an insane amount of damage to anyone in his path. This attack does take some time to use, as in it has a very long animation effect, so be careful not to use it when you are exposed or being attacked from other directions. Heavy attack is also very short ranged and can easily be dodged by simply moving to the side or out of its path. I have seen many Sith Lords fall because they don't properly time this attack and they die while they are in the animation. As I mentioned in my Luke Skywalker video, the heavy attack also triggers an epic struggle between light and dark when Luke and Vader both use their heavy attacks on each other at the same time. During this fight, you used to be vulnerable to outside attacks, but that appears to have been fixed and is no longer a case. So have fun and duel away. Then of course, Darth Vader does come equipped with his sinister red lightsaber. He's able to strike forward as many times as you want, one-hit killing any infantry players, while also staggering heroes for a very short time. This lightsaber is also very important for Darth Vader's defensive gameplay, as you can use it to block, parry, and reflect attacks. That is all for the basics, so let's move along down the path of the dark side into strategies and techniques. Vader is the ultimate powerhouse, tanking a lot more damage than other heroes and having 3 different offensive capabilities for many types of situations. He is both good at slaughtering masses and crushing other heroes, as any Sith Lord should be. However, due to Vader's lack of really far-ranged abilities, positioning, situational awareness, and cooldown management are going to be very important in your gameplay. You want to make sure that you are sticking to close quarters as much as possible, always watching the minimap for oncoming enemies, and then using the right attack to get the job done. I also can't stress this enough, you need to always be blocking anytime you are not attacking while under enemy fire. How long you survive and how much you can accomplish while playing as Vader is going to be directly related to your ability to block incoming attacks and then properly react with the right ability. In regular game modes, you are always on the minimap as a big red dot. Anyone in the surrounding area is going to put their attention onto you. Like I said, it's extremely important that you manage your cooldowns to engage each and every enemy as they come into view. Every attack does need to be perfectly executed, and you should always be blocking between those attacks to keep yourself alive. Always strike with your lightsaber if they are within range, force choke them if they are out of that range, and then saber throw if they are further away. Failure to use the correct ability will leave you unable to take action, and you will find yourself in a lot of trouble as more and more enemies are building up around you and you have nothing to attack them with. Make sure that you are using force leap as well to move around, avoid explosives, and stay out of the line of sight. Also make sure to force leap before you saber throw if there's anything blocking your path. Like I said, it's being thrown from the hip and can be easily blocked by objects. Essentially, what this comes down to is your critical thinking skills and how well you can act appropriately to the given situation. In Heroes vs. Villains, Vader is an absolute terror depending on how you use him. The same rules that I just mentioned for regular game modes apply here as well. Your survival is still going to depend on your positioning, situational awareness, cooldown management, and ability to block, but the enemies are different. The main things here are you have to save force choke for honor guards. They do not easily die from regular lightsaber attacks or saber throw, and they just do way too much damage if left unchecked. Also, instead of moving around trying to take on each enemy as they approach, you should be staying out of line of sight from the enemy, peeking in and out using saber throw from a distance. Vader just doesn't do well when being attacked by multiple strong enemies from all different positions. The idea is to let them trickle in towards you one at a time and kill them off so you get them reviving at different times. This will lead to opportunities for a full-on attack. It's essentially divide and conquer. I also suggest staying as close as possible to Emperor Palpatine at all times. You should be in front, blocking attacks and taking out enemies with the saber throw, and then ideally Palpatine will stay behind you, spawning health and providing offensive support with his longer range chain lightning attacks. You should be moving together as a team, master and apprentice, slowly creeping forward, approaching from the shadows with the power of the dark side. Overall, Darth Vader is just not somebody that you want to mess with, and he's a tank of a villain, able to take a hit, dish out huge damage. So give a like to show your love for Darth Vader. Subscribe if you want more videos like this one, and don't forget, if you want Otaku to add you on PlayStation Network, or you're just the kind of person who wants Otaku to survive for another day, then check the description below. There is a link for you to donate. No account or sign up necessary, just enter the info and click. Make sure to stick around, there is lots of great content to come, but until then, as always, may the Force be with you.